Meanwhile, the president spoke in a White House press briefing about 30 to 45 minutes later. And he said something that, whether you like it or not, happens to probably be true. He talked about that White House ballroom that he was trying to build. He talked about how the Washington Hilton wasn't the safest place in the world. You see him up there talking now, and here's what he said. What happened last night is exactly the reason that our great military, Secret Service, law enforcement, and for different reasons, every president for the last 150 years have been demanding that a large, safe, and secure ballroom be built on the grounds of the White House. This event would never have happened with the military top secret ballroom currently under construction at the White House. That was from Donald Trump on his Truth Social post. He continues. It cannot be built fast enough. While beautiful, it has every highest level security feature there is. Plus, there are no rooms sitting on top for unsecured people to pour in, and is inside the gates of the most secure building in the world, the White House. The ridiculous ballroom lawsuit brought by a woman walking her dog who has absolutely no standing to bring such a suit must be dropped immediately. Nothing should be allowed to interfere with its construction, which is on budget and substantially ahead of schedule. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, I was getting text messages with people saying this was all rigged. It was a conspiracy. It was planned. And it was probably planned because he wanted the ballroom. I think that's a bit far-fetched. I think that's reaching. I think there is truly people who hate Donald Trump so much. If the man had a cure for cancer, they would say, no, we don't want it. I do believe that's the case in some instances. He's far from perfect. I abhor some of the things that he does. And I've said so on many occasions. And we need an adult in the room most of the time. He's not that, because of what he engages in. All of those things I've said, and I'll say it again. But that doesn't make him wrong with what he just said. If it's the White House Correspondents' dinner, why the hell is it not at the White House? It's a very simple question, logically. Am I missing something? If it's the White House Correspondents' dinner, why the hell is it at some hotel that anybody could be in? How did the shooter penetrate the perimeter and get past security? I don't know. You saw the footage. But my response could be is this. It was advertised for weeks that the White House Correspondents' dinner was going to be at that particular hotel at that particular date and time. Who's to say the man didn't get a room in a hotel a week earlier and lied and wait? I remember watching that movie with Clint Eastwood in The Line of Fire with him and John Malkovich, and how he was determined to kill the president and stuff like that, and how he was able to pinch. I mean, they do this stuff in movies, for crying out loud. Talks about how shrewd the devil is. He'll show you stuff that in movies and beyond that could actually be done. I'm not going that route. I'm simply saying, who the hell knows? But I don't think it's beyond the pale for the president of the United States to point out that the White House Correspondents' dinner should be at the White House, because that is clearly a more secure location than the Washington Hilton Hotel. It's just a fact. So let's just keep it a buck, be real about it, and understand that even when you disagree with a lot of what somebody does in this administration, it doesn't make every syllable coming out of their mouth wrong. Let's be honest about that and understand he kind of has a point. Because I got news for you. Being one of those individuals there, you understand, who grew up in the streets of New York City, that is not foreign to gunfire and violence, because I've seen it in my lifetime. I didn't like being a grown-ass adult at a White House Correspondents' dinner with the presidents of networks and beyond, all in the same room, and watching thousands of people literally forced to duck for cover under tables and chairs, praying that a shooter wasn't in the room just looking to spray gunfire in our direction. That was not a good feeling. That was not a good feeling. Let's just be honest about it and understand that at times, even from people we dislike or we don't approve of, particularly when it comes to their verbiage, their antagonistic tendencies, their narcissism, their belligerence, and juvenile tendencies, it doesn't mean that everything they say is wrong. A dead clock is right twice a day. Remember that. And understand that whether we like it or not, whether you want to think it's a conspiracy and it was rigged or not or whatever, the president has a point. Stuff like this should be on the grounds of the White House. It shouldn't be at some damn hotel in D.C. that just anybody could get into. It just shouldn't. That's all I have to say about that. Thank God everybody's okay. Thank God they caught the assailant. Thank God the Secret Service agent that was shot had on a bulletproof vest, and he's fine. And just pray that incidents like this don't happen. But also remember, as bad as things are, in a lot of people's eyes in 2026, in the 80s, it happened where the president actually got shot. And it was at the same damn hotel that this just happened. Nearly 40 years, about 40 years later. Let's remember that. Let's remember that. As times change, they kind of don't, if we really think about it.